Okay everyone, so in this next lesson, I just want to go and show you that we can go and use a pre-installed software such as Notepad in our Windows machine for us to be able to go and create a website. If you're using Linux, you can go and use LeafPad or Nano for you to be able to go and create a website using Hypertext Markup Language or HTML. So now let's try to go and save this. And I want to save it here in my folder, and I'm going to call it index.html. And now if I go and try to open this in my directory here, you would see that by default it can be opened by Firefox because that's my default browser that I'm using in my machine right now. But you can choose from a number of options here like Firefox, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, or any browser that is installed in your computer. Just one keynote to remember is that you will need to go and test out how your website will be appearing on different browsers. I just want you to take note of that because sometimes you will need to go and verify if the way you designed your website will be similar from one browser to another. It's just good practice that you go and test out your site in different browsers so at least you would know that if ever your users are using a specific browser for their preference, at least you know that your site will be appearing the same way in different browsers or in that browser. So now we can see here that even though we haven't yet used any hypertext markup language, this is already appearing in our browser. In this case, I will be using Firefox for this course. Now, if I go and try to go and press on F12, you would see that the browser has default values and it's also using default markup here so that our text will be appearing when we try to open it using Firefox. And if we try to go to the console tab here, one thing that you will be noticing is that we have an error here. And it says here the character encoding of the HTML document was not declared. The document will render with garbled text in some browser configurations if the document contains characters from outside the US ASCII range. The character encoding of the page must be declared in the document or in the transfer protocol. So what you're seeing here is our first error. Don't worry, we'll try to go and try to do our debugging. And as we go along with our sessions, we will be understanding more on how we can go and use markup so that the browser here will be better understanding our instructions to it on how it can display the plain text that we have in our text editor. I just wanted to show you here that even with a pre-installed software, we can go and build a website. But of course, we won't be doing that because we would want to go and make our lives easier. So we will be using some coding editors such as Visual Studio Code, which I will be teaching you on how you can download it and install it in the next lesson. So thank you and see you on our next lessons.